In this meeting, Carrie introduces the concept of rights and responsibilities as the foundation for self-advocacy. Ethan, who has above-average intelligence, lives with reading and auditory processing and learning disabilities. That means that Ethan has difficulty reading and understanding printed and verbal instructions. It's very frustrating for him. Ethan and his mom, Shelley, are meeting with Carrie for a typical progress review. Carrie, Ethan, and Shelley are seated around a conference room table. Carrie has Ethan's case file open in front of her.
It's so great to see you both again. Ethan, I understand that you shadowed an aircraft mechanic at the airport last week. How'd that go?
It was awesome. I got to go with Judy, the mechanic, on the walk around to, check the brakes, lights, and landing gear. And then we went inside the cockpit and we got to see all the hydraulic systems and the other systems too. And the dash. The dash had so many lights, levers, and all these buttons you can press. It was fascinating.
Wow, that sounds really interesting and very exciting.
It was, but it was kind of scary too, because Judy explained it's the mechanic's duty to keep the aircraft airworthy, which means safe for the passengers and crew. It's a lot of responsibility, and there's not a lot of room for mistakes. I don't know, maybe I should just stick to motorcycle mechanics?
How do you think Carrie should respond to Ethan's ambivalence? A. Validate Ethan's concern and suggest he consider another profession. B. Validate Ethan's concern and remind him of his mechanical aptitude. C. Challenge Ethan's perspective by asking about motorcycle mechanic safety. D. Both B and C. Let's resume the scene to see how Carrie responds.
Ethan, do you think that motorcycle mechanics don't have to be concerned with safety?
Oh, of course. Good point.
So we agree that safety is essential for both professions.
Mm-hmm.
Can we also agree that responsible people with good mechanical aptitude would be more equipped to ensure safety than someone who wasn't responsible or who didn't have mechanical aptitude?
Yeah.
Well, is there anybody in this room who is both responsible and mechanically inclined?
Ethan, could that be you, maybe?
Jeez.
The point I'm trying to make, Ethan, is that you are a responsible person with solid mechanical aptitude. And now you have the tools you need to feel more confident with your reading. I would hate for you to reject a job that could be really satisfying for you just because of fear.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And Dad and I want you to know that we think that you'd be great at either job, and so we'll support whatever decision you make.
Thanks, Mom.
Sure.
So, how did the rest of your week go, Ethan?
It was okay.
Maybe you want to tell her how it really went?
Okay. First off was Job Club. I knew the material, it's just I was too afraid to do one of the mock interviews.
Okay, well, what happened?
Well, I knew the employee expectations, like go to work, get along with people, be nice to your boss, but I was just so afraid that I'd hear something wrong and then just look really dumb in front of everyone.
I get how that situation can make you nervous. What else happened?
Two of my friends got their driver's licenses, and I really want to get mine too. Mm-hmm. It's just, I'm afraid I'm gonna fail this stupid test. What if I read something wrong? I'll just fail. And yesterday, I was walking through, hallway D, and I was, on my phone, trying to do my homework with my reading app, and this teacher comes up to me and yells at me for using my phone, and it was so embarrassing, and I couldn't tell them why. I can't win.
How do you think Carrie should respond to Ethan's fear and frustration? A. Validate Ethan's fear and frustration and schedule the next appointment. B. Validate Ethan's fear and frustration and remind him of his rights. C. Validate Ethan's fear and frustration and remind him of his responsibilities. D. Both B and C. Let's resume the scene to see how Carrie responds.
Ethan, I understand how those situations would be so frustrating for you. I suspect that you know all the driving rules, but Maybe you're worried that the letters and the words of the questions will scramble.
Exactly.
And you're doing everything you need to by using your phone apps. And then you get scolded by a teacher who doesn't know the situation. It doesn't feel fair.
Nope.
Well, okay, let's talk about this. First, I want you to know that the DMV can offer you an auditory format of the test. You would use headphones so that you could listen to the questions while you also read it, improving your comprehension. Do you think that would help?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Right, good. The DMV is required to provide that accommodation for you. It is your right to receive it, but it's also your responsibility to request it.
Oh, that's so embarrassing. I'd rather not.
I understand your hesitation, but what are the consequences to not requesting your accommodations? You've told me that you feel dumb when you're unsure of what you're reading or what you're hearing. And because of that, you choose not to participate. Is that true?
Yeah.
And then, when you don't participate, others then wrongly perceive you as incapable or uninterested.
It happens a lot.
And is it true that you are incapable or uninterested?
No.
Definitely not.
Ethan, when you know your rights and you request your accommodations, you'll feel more confident. And when you advocate for yourself, most people will respect you for it. Also, it's not super complicated. For example, you'll go into the DMV with documentation of your disability, a letter that I will write for you, and you'll say something along the lines of, I have a learning disability that makes it difficult for me to read. I want to do my best on the test, and to do that, I need the auditory format of the test. Here's some documentation about my disability. See, it's not so bad.
I guess not.
Well, don't worry. Next week, we'll practice requesting accommodations. And in the meantime, I'd like you to practice with your folks.
Okay.
Oh, also, I'd like you to check out some information about disability history and some famous people who also live with learning disabilities. I think you'll find it pretty encouraging. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.